What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are back at it with the Chevelle LSX Frankenstein build resurrection, whatever you guys want to call it. But you guys can see I've been busy. Look, motor's painted. Motor is painted. Oil pan. We got to put the oil pan on. We got to get this thing dressed up, ready to get back in the car. Hopefully, I don't know when. We're going to be running out of time. I know it because we're pushing for LS Fest West, you guys. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but the goal is to have the LSX Frankenstein Chevelle LSS Fest. God, that's a mouthful. But today's goal is to kind of get the motor prepped and ready to go to get it back in the car. But oil pan, baby, you guys already know. Holley, we got to go with the Holley oil pan because guess what? They just got it right. I've tried a bunch of aftermarket pans, and Holley always seems to work perfect. So if you guys are wondering about an oil pan, Holley 302-2 is your best bet for these old muscle cars. But let me show you what came in. She is looking pretty spicy, boys. We had to give it that red coat again like we had in the old motor. I just really like the red in that Chevelle. It just pops the interior as well, goes with the interior. But what came in earlier is the reason I got this all torn apart because I had to swap out the oil pump. We went with the KATECH oil pump. It's a lot more flow, I should say. It's ported and everything, so that should maximize the oil pressure in this thing. But you guys already know, we got a nice little special delivery from Holley, their 302-2 pan. So we're going to put that on. Now, I've already done some modifications because you guys already know when you're putting these oil pans on, you got to do some modifications to the windage tray. Again, keep in mind, if you guys are doing these things, you're going to have to modify this windage tray. You're going to end up usually having to cut off this front section here for the oil pickup tube, not to mention a small notch right around here so that oil pickup tube falls in line here to your oil pump right there. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to leave this cover off for now because it'll make it a lot easier to put these bolts in here for the pickup tube. But again, modify your guys' windage tray. Not to mention, I see and I've seen it, and the reason I'm going to bring this up, whenever you guys cut this thing up, make sure you deburr it, clean it up. The last thing you want to do is have all those fine little pieces of metal flying around inside your engine. And I've seen it on a brand new build, a motor that got delivered to me, and it was I'm not going to name any names, and it wasn't no big company or nothing like that. It was just an individual that sent me a motor that he wanted in his car, and they cut the windage tray, but there was like so many metal, just like burrs just hanging off the windage tray. So always clean that thing up. But let's put the oil pan on here. As a matter of fact, let's do the pickup tube first and then see how that fits. And we got to make sure we got the correct O-ring so that thing seals properly so we are not sucking up air. We got the cover somewhat back on here. Now I can't put the oil pan on obviously yet. I gotta center the balancer to this seal here before we torque these guys down. But I gotta find my balancer. So before we could even put the pan on, Holley normally gives you this little baffle here. Basically nothing too crazy. This is good for street driving and stuff like that. But for us that we like to autocross, we're actually putting the baffle in, the oil baffle. This is actually the one we had in our old setup. We cleaned it up, got all the stuff out of it, and I am really happy that this thing survived because these things are expensive. So we're going to go with this guy here. All we're going to do is drop it. Now this thing is made for this pan, so that's another reason to go with the Holley pan. But we're going to put these guys on here, a little Loctite, so make sure these things don't come out. Last thing you want to do is suck up a bolt or have this baffle just flying around and all that good stuff in there. All right, now before we put the oil pan on, we got to add some RTV to the four corners. You guys should probably already know that. But this is my go-to RTV, you guys. If you guys ever doing this, man, look at this stuff. The AC Delco GM brand. This stuff works so freaking good. And this is the stuff they use from the factory. I'll put a link down in the description below if you guys are interested in this guy here. Not to mention, I noticed that the camera stopped recording for some reason. I apologize, guys, when I was putting this front cover on. We got the balancer on there. It's not completely torqued down because I don't have a flywheel, so I just kind of ran it through so we can make sure that it was centered with our seal. But now we can go ahead, apply this, and then get that oil pan on. Man, every time that scares the crap out of me doing these two back bolts, these small ones, because those are only torqued to 106 inch-pounds. Don't forget that, because man, that is always so just nerve-wracking. I mean, they just feel like they're gonna snap. But oil pan looks freaking amazing. Can't freaking be more happy. We still got to put our oil filter adapter stuff on here. I'm not too worried about that right now, but it is looking good, fellas. So what I do want to do is I want to change the valve covers out. We're going to actually reuse the old valve covers. They're still in good shape, so we're going to reuse those. We're going to take these off, put some fresh gaskets on. Not to mention, I want to change this valley cover plate. That's why this is actually the old one. I used it just for the painting purposes. So we'll take this off. We'll change that out. And I got a really freaking cool new cover, man. It's exciting. So let me pull this off. We'll change these out and see what that looks like. Check that bad boy out, fellas. Oh, baby. A little something from Motion Raceworks. Decided to go with their billet cover. Man, that looks freaking good. Let's see what this looks like here. We're just going to set it right on top for now just to get a visual. Because I think I'm going to end up pouring the oil in here before we move the motors. I'll just pour it straight into the valley in there. But man, that looks freaking good. Look at that bad boy. Oh yeah. I like it, fellas. What you guys think, man? That looks freaking good. Give you guys a better look of what it's looking like. Yeah, man. I am digging it. We still got obviously torque the balancer. Nothing's really set. I gotta wait till I get a flywheel on this thing, so that way we can actually torque everything. And I was actually gonna put on the accessory drive from HOLLEY, the mid-mount kit, but I think I'm gonna wait on that as well, just because I don't want it in the way when I'm torquing the balancer. We might even wait till it's in the car, but check out HOLLEY oil pan for the win. Once again, I appreciate you guys, HOLLEY, for sending this super fast delivery, guys. They had this thing within a day or two. We told them what we wanted to do. We told them that we were trying to get to LS Fest, and we were on a time crunch. So once again, big shout out to HOLLEY. But man, looks like freaking good. I got a surprise for you on that intake, guys. We're going to change the intake up a little bit, but you guys got to stay tuned. We might even wait till it's in the car. I don't know yet. Let me know what you guys think. Put it down in the comments below. Hopefully we can make LS Fest. I got a bunch of stuff we still got to do. We got to do motor mounts. I got to do the oil cooler on the other side. I got the adapter they're going to reuse from the old motor. Put it on that side over here. We're basically right next to or on the oil pan right there. So we got to do that, clean that thing up, put a bunch of sensors and stuff like that. Same thing for the backside. This one comes with the little adapter for your oil pressure sensor. So we got to do that. Once again, you guys, I appreciate you guys. I see a lot of new watchers, man. I see you guys watching. But do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. You guys already know. Stay wrenching.